All right, let's talk a little bit about this rank system. I think it's a blessing and a curse, to be honest with you. It it does the Arxis thing where it sort of makes you care about what rank you are while just not letting you care at all, right? Just not making you care about what you are at all. And I think DBFZ sort of had a good balance with this where you have the little square, the little colored square, but you also have like a rank with a title. Because when I was playing DBFZ, I was playing a lot more casuals trying to learn the game. So I got to like the one under the pink square, like the weird orange looking one. But my rank in actual ranked queues was really low. So when I would queue up for casuals, I'd play like insane people. I'd get caught in infinites, right? And then I'd go into ranked and I'd play like bots. I'd play people who were just learning the game. And that's when I learned that casual mode is a lot harder in that game than actual ranked queues, at least in my experience. But as far as Guilty Gear Strive goes, they tried to make it to where floors 1 through 10 are your ranks or whatever, and then 11 it means you've ascended, right? You're like the best. What it really came out to is floors 1 through 10 are a goddamn free-for-all, and then 11, the heavenly one, means that you made it, right? That you're a decent player. If I had to give you an example of that, is the reason I had to make that video of the 3 moves that you should punish in Guilty Gear Strive, which you should check out if you haven't already, is I played a Potemkin on floor 10 who was a rank 10 player, and the only thing he used was Mega Fist. That's why that was such a big part of the video that I made, is because I realized this guy has made it all the way up here just Mega Fisting people who don't understand that you can block the forward one and it's -6 and you can take your turn or you can punish it if your character has something to do so. You'll see that a lot, I think, with Potemkin and May players. There's a lot of them are on the higher floors that don't play traditionally, like what you're used to playing against, right? You're going to play against a lot of Soul and Kai who play like Shotos, right? They throw like a lot of fireballs and they're DPing anti-airs, and they're going to play those people who are Mega Fisting you and Totsugeking you to death. And that's just part of the game, baby. Every game has like people who use gimmicks to get up the ladder, and then once their gimmicks get caught out, then they struggle, right? So I think what we're seeing now is like that growth phase where people are learning their character, they're learning what they like to spam, and then they're going to start getting countered for it, and then they're going to have to start building their game plan up, right? It's just a natural course of how the games go, I feel like. Some people are going to realize that, let's say that Potemkin realizes Mega Fist is punishable or negative, then he's going to have to evolve his game plan, and that's where the second step, I think the second phase of evolution starts happening. Same thing with May's Dolphin, right? The far one, you can actually like interrupt. You can 6P it if you space right, or you can like neutral jump. But there's a couple of things you can do to get around the heavy one because it has that big old wind up. But you're probably used to getting hit by the small one, the instant one, so much that you're not even looking for the startup on the far one, because it is kind of hard to see when all this stuff is going on. And when she won't get out of the fucking air, right? Because they're all doing that right now. I played a quick story before we get into the next point. I played a dude yesterday. His name, I forgot his name, but he played May. And on his little wanted poster, whenever you match with him, he put DBFZ player in the bottom. And I swear to you, all he did was air dash at me. He jumped. He played neutral in the air, and it works effectively, I think, because he was on a pretty high floor. And I thought that was hilarious that he just outed himself as a DBFZ player and unapologetically just played the game like it was DBFZ. I thought that shit was hilarious. I guess the next thing we should get into is how you can go from a lower floor and just join a higher floor and just play there if you want. Because that makes no sense to me. It locks the lower floor so you can't bully people, but then you can go to like the 10th floor and just play like a bunch of floor 10 players till maybe you beat one. And then when you beat one, it'll rank you up. So if you really wanted to, if you wanted to get to the highest floor, and what I think some people are doing is you could be like a floor 6 player, you know, because after you get placed, usually if you beat the soul bot, you'll get floor 6. If you lose to it, I think you get floor 4 based on your performance against that bot in the tutorial. So if you got placed 6 or 4, you could just go to 10 and just find somebody and scrub them out, or just legitimately beat them. And then you rank up. And I think that's how it works, to be honest with you. Also, the rate at which you rank up is pretty insane. I think they should have toned it back a little bit, or at least put like an LP number to give you some like notice, or like gate you out of it, right? To put a gate there so you're not just ranking up over and over again. For example, I've probably only played like 10 to 12 matches in the tower. The rest of my games are with my friends in the park or in player match or whatever. And in those like 10 to 12 games, I want to say, I've ranked up from floor 6 to 8. That's ridiculous. And I think the problem is to get from floor, like, let's say 1 to 2 is the same amount of experience, I guess, or whatever system they're using, to get from 6 to 7 or from 7 to 8. Not like the Street Fighter rank system where like the higher rank you get, the more LP there is between it, right? So like I think from Diamond to Masters in Street Fighter, it's 14,000 LP to like 35 or 30,000, something like that. It starts to become progressively harder to rank up because I guess it wants you to beat more people to like prove that you can get to that rank, but it also like time gates you from being able to speed run all the way through the system. And that's something this game doesn't have. And the worst part is, I think by the time this game starts to decline a little bit, I know the player numbers are phenomenal, and I don't expect it to die anytime soon, but obviously there's going to be a drop-off, right, at some point where the casual players decide it's not for them anymore and they go back to whatever game they play, where all of the good players are going to be in the heaven rank, and then all of the decent players, or people who are picking up the game late, are going to be stuck in the tower, and then they're going to have to keep trying to beat each other to get into the heaven rank to actually get matches again. A similar thing happened with Grand Blue, is when that game died out and there wasn't as many people, there were people like boosting to get to that master rank because you could only do it by playing ranked, obviously, but there was nobody in the ranked queue. So there was like an account, I think it was like Grand Rank Bot or something, and it would just be like queuing up all the time and just giving out free wins so people could hit the master rank, and they would just boost to it for like no, I mean, there's no reason because there's no gate like the heaven floor has. I guess people just wanted the title or something. But to be fair, I guess that's what the park system and the player matches are for, is so you can come down and play with your friends, right? You come down from heaven, descend onto the mortals, and play with them again. What I wouldn't be surprised if they added is like another rank system, right? Because I think people are going to start hitting the higher, like the heavenly, the celestial floor, and then they're going to like stop wanting to play, right? Because there's casuals who are like very intent on rank systems, right? I've talked about this in the past. But if the game is really targeting players who come from other games, bigger games like League of Legends and Apex and stuff, that have fleshed out rank systems that actually mean something to players, they're going to have to do something for the highest level. I really don't think that the Celestial Floor will be enough for some people that are coming from other games that really want to stick with Guilty Gear. But what I will say this rank system does is really emphasizes outside competition, right? So like, if you're hitting the higher floors and you're getting bored of ranked and there's nothing to do anymore, you could, you know, start looking at tournaments, right? And I don't know if that's the goal of the system, is to push people to start playing competitively. I think that's what's going to happen, right? And there's a lot of tournaments out there right now, all over Twitter and Discord, whatever it may be. And that's why I said that it's a blessing and a curse, right? The curse is that some people are going to drop off because they're not interested in pursuing things competitively or playing in tournaments. But the blessing is that the rank system forces people to look for other ways to find competition, and that's going to be, you know, tournaments. I think it always comes back to the sentiment that if the publisher, the developer can't make it, the community will make it. You know, the community will make what they need to survive. Anyways, that's it for this rant today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider subscribing, and thank you so much for watching, as always.